Hello, you look important. Never mind. A dog! Can I pet the dog? Oh my goodness, you can pet the dog in this game.
If I had to choose my favorite thing about gaming in VR, I'd be a little split. There's seeing things in real life scale, there's physically turning your head, manually reloading guns, but the thing that tops it all for me is swinging a sword. Well, swinging anything, really. It's one of those things that's never really been satisfying in flat screen gaming. Clicking a button and having 2 or 3 animations play over and over again just gets old really fast. But take away that limitation and you're left with something that's truly only possible in VR. LONN here is an ambitious game. It's made by 3 indie developers, and they actually made a beautiful looking cyberpunk world with a 7 to 8 hour campaign with full physics interaction. You play as a cyberpunk bounty hunter named LONN, and you apparently are just obsessed with partying even though we never see any of that. I don't know. There's melee combat, manually reloaded guns, tasteful art direction, and even a telekinesis feature that's actually super satisfying to play with. That said, the reviews on Steam for this game at the time of recording are sitting at a 67% mixed rating, so clearly there's something not really lining up here. This video is sponsored by KIWI Design and their Quest 2 controller grips. Whether you just like how they look or you're sick of yeeting your controller out a window when it slips away, knuckle grip controllers are the best way to use your Quest controllers. They've also got this little hidden door so you don't need to take off the entire thing just to change the battery. Check them out for yourself with the link down below. Okay, so before I really criticize this game at all, I do want to say it's super refreshing to be essentially playing Cyberpunk in VR. The artistic atmosphere is gritty and believable, and anytime you look up at the skyline or out of a window, you get a stunning view into the future.
What's this? I got an award? Bounty of the Year, 2096. This is quite the leap for 50 years from now. Oh my goodness. Wait.
It's also just a breath of fresh air to have a true narrative physics game in VR. I don't know about you, but I'm really starting to get sick of nothing but roguelike games that use lore as a replacement for any kind of story. Like, at least publicly, even Blade and Sorcery's end goal is just to be a roguelike with their gem hunt mode, whenever that comes out. Oh, but you're gonna write a bunch of lore to put out into the world. Who cares? What? I'm not interacting with any of that. It's not active. There's no story. It's just lore. I feel like lore drops work as an accessory to an existing story, not as a replacement for it altogether. I don't know. Let me know if this is a bad take. LONN is actually really fun to play, but with that said, this isn't labeled as an early access game or anything, so we do kind of need to examine it for the jank that it is currently. You start out on the streets of this city and are pretty quickly shown a dialogue box, giving the impression that this might not even be a voice-acted game, but then your character starts having a monologue, but only for like 2 seconds, and it's kind of meaningless. It's weird.
Some people grow up to be criminals. Some grow up to catch them.
This happens a lot too. Sometimes they give you a text message dialogue box at the same time as a conversation with voices going on. I think it'd be better if they just made this all a transcript with the voice conversations instead, like it's kind of confusing. You worry too much, it's not like they'll capture me.
Ow. Hey you. I'm gonna need this floor for... Damn it. Hey you. I'm gonna get the floor wet with your blood and then put this sign down.
The first mission is kind of a tutorial. You go to kill the gang leader and collect the bounty, and then it immediately cuts to you in your apartment the next day. And they tell you, hell yeah, you had a crazy night partying, whatever, but you didn't see any of that, so what's the point in that plot point even happening? While you're there, you can interact with a bunch of stuff in your apartment, so that's pretty cool.
Am I just supposed to be sitting here with my feet dangling? What? Why is this like a 3-foot high toilet? And why am I just touching it?
Then they introduce you to your partner with a bit more dialogue that sounds like it was written by ChatGPT.
How was the job last night?
Ah, the usual. Talking to stupid people, drinking cold coffee, and chasing bad guys.
Are you calling me stupid?
Never. It's like fighting ghosts. You seem to come from everywhere.
I bet you partied in the club after that one?
You know me. Train hard, play hard, and party hard.
Look, I was calling to...
And that's where the game gets weird, really. LONN talks to himself, dialogue happens at weird moments with no real motivation, and LONN is always just monologuing in 10 words or less.
Okay. I might still be intoxicated, but I can climb this ladder rung by rung. One step at a time.
It all just feels like they're trying way too hard to make him a cool cyberpunk heartthrob instead of a believable human being.
Hey, LONN!
Luna, don't do that!
Just testing out your micro wireless inductive receiver. My GPS sensors tell.
There's just a lot of exposition and needless questions that characters ask, and I feel bad for the voice actors here because it sounds like they were just doing their best with the writing they had.
What exactly do I do with this new tech?
Hey, pal. People in these parts go about doing their thing. Eating out, going to the clubs, find yourself a 3D print station, select your weapon, and abracadabra.
Right. I'll believe that magic when I see it.
Good luck, and thanks for shopping at Lucky's.
Even just the plot itself could benefit from a rewrite. Like, I'm only 2.5 hours in, but that means I'm about a quarter of the way through and the game basically only just started. The first mission is all a redundant tutorial because you do basically the same things in the second mission as well. So if they were to make that second mission into the first mission, it would actually save a bunch of time and actually make it a more cohesive story.
Oh my... Oh no. I'm afraid to touch it again now. It's self-sustaining now.
And I really don't like how they just tell you how LONN is a party animal and a drunk and whatever. Like, if LONN is supposed to be this drunk bounty hunter heartthrob, put me into the nightclub with him, as him, with a bunch of NPCs for an opening sequence to show us that LONN is a party animal. Don't just skip over all of it and be like, no, trust this man, he's a real cool guy, he's from the future, he drinks, and he kills people. Like, it seems like that's the only thing they want to try and tell us, is that he's a cyberpunk cool guy, but like, there's no depth to his character at all. And I'm not trying to just put these guys down, but this is something all too common in the VR space right now. People who know how to design decent gameplay, but just don't know how to structure a story. And I understand some stories need some time to cook slowly, but financial times are tough for people these days. That 2-hour gameplay window at the top of the game is when people can still return it on Steam. So you need to hook them in the story right away so that they don't do that. You don't need to rush the story, but the beginning at least should be intriguing enough to keep playing and not be completely irrelevant and repetitive.
That's cool. So that uses this bar. See, the forearms, this is why full body is better, because you have inventory slots on your body. You have, like, not just a floating thing, but you can see, like, on your arm. They definitely need to do some better IK for this game, though. No! This is that scene from Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets. Just gonna tickle my bones real quick.
Okay, now with all of that said, it's actually hard to say much else about this game. It's something that you kind of need to experience for yourself to see the jank that people are talking about, because it generally plays pretty well, but you always have this feeling of something missing. The guns all lack a useful iron sight or a scope or anything like that, making it really hard to aim them. They all use the same ammo though, for simplicity, so I do like that. The neighborhood and city centers all feel dead.
Uh-oh. Oh, he spin move right away.
There are some flying cars flying above you overhead sometimes, but you don't really notice them. And I know more NPCs equals more demand on your PC, but walking around a city where NPCs are just motioning to each other and not talking or moving, it just takes away from the experience.
No one's gonna get hurt. Just drop a random barrel in the middle of the city square.
Enemies are all silent during combat, never having any kind of dialogue. Like, at one point you encounter this cult with these weird brainwashed followers, but imagine if they had creepy cult scripture that they kept reciting during combat through a weird glitchy robot filter. Or heck, even if they just giggled and laughed like there was hardly anything left in their mind except for violence and the cult. It's just little things that you can add to immerse the player more. Also, when you're in combat, the music never shifts to any kind of action tone, just staying with the same track on loop for the entire level. It just feels like they could work on the audio experience a bit more.
Oh, you're not ready for this. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for... Oh no, I'm gonna be wanted for murder.
This is a big one for me, but when you get hit in the game, it fades to red super slowly and blinds you. Like, it's already bad enough that I lost some health, but now I'm completely blind for a second. And then if they hit you again while you're blind, then you're just blind for longer. Just go with a sound effect impact and a quick peripheral red flash. That's it. That's all you need. Now, of course, I haven't actually finished this game yet, and even though I have my issues with it, I'm gonna keep playing it because it's still an overall fun experience. If it happens to be on sale, I'd say pick it up. Otherwise, maybe wait. I'll be playing LONN later today on stream here on YouTube, so you can see the real gameplay for yourself if you want. If you're watching after the fact, then the stream VOD will be up, and you can look at that if you want. Join the Discord if you want to stay up to date on things, and I hope you all enjoyed. Cheers, guys.
Shit, okay. I demand a do-over. Okay, gotta get a good break. Come in. That noise was actually really satisfying. Oh, okay. Look, I did it! Wait, there's no holes! Oh.